Hello everyone, today we are breaking down Season 1, Episode 2, Infected of The Last of Us. But before that, remember to like the video, helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. The first thing we see is a flashback to 2003, right before the outbreak, in Indonesia. We get some more details about the virus outbreak. The cordyceps virus was found at a grain and flour factory, which is a perfect substrate for the cordyceps virus to live in. So when the flour was used to make other things, such as bread and other food, people unwittingly infected themselves with the virus. And then people bite other people and so on and so forth, and you have a global pandemic on your hands. The PhD scientist lady tells the high-ranking officer that there are no cures for this, no vaccines, that they are screwed. She tells him that they should bomb the city. Basically, this would be used to prevent further outbreak. Yes, innocent people would die, but it would slow the outbreak, allowing governments to prepare a defense. So it would be for the greater good. We are now back in the current time. Ellie has just awoken to see that Joel and Tess are both staring at her. Remember, at the end of the first episode, the two found out that she was infected. Ellie told them she was immune to the disease, but the two still don't trust her. They have both heard people use that excuse, and they still turned. Joel and Tess are now asking Ellie questions like about her bite mark and what Marlene, the leader of the Fireflies, is doing with her. The Fireflies are a rebel group that fights Federa, the Federal Disaster Response Agency, because they believe they are unfair and are like dictators. Ellie tells them that the Fireflies kept her in a room for weeks doing tests to see if she would turn or not. Ellie leaves to go to the bathroom, and Joel and Tess discuss what they heard. Tess seems to believe that Ellie is immune to the disease. She survived the night and the bite mark isn't getting worse, whereas Joel is quite confident that she will turn eventually. Everyone does. Joel wants to take her back to the QZ, which is the quarantine area, and figure out another way to get the battery. He does not want to deal with Ellie. He does not want to be the one who has to shoot her. Tess still wants to go with the plan. It's still the best chance to get a battery and the supplies they need to get to Tommy, Joel's brother. The three sit down to eat. Tess asks Ellie what Marlene wants from her. Ellie tells her that the Fireflies have a base somewhere out west and they are working on a cure, and that she is the key to that cure. Joel is very skeptical and does not believe a word he is hearing. He says he has heard this all before. I'm sure over the years Joel has heard something similar many times, and there was hope. But after countless letdowns, you start to become pessimistic, because having hope just hurts too much. Joel is still adamant about going back to the QZ, but Tess is not, saying, "It doesn't matter what we think. The Fireflies believe it, and if they are willing to give us what we need, why not just finish the job?" Joel tells Tess if Ellie starts to twitch or turn, he will kill her. Ellie starts teasing him and acts like she is turning, which gets her a stern look from Tess. This shows that Ellie's a bit of a smartass, if you couldn't tell already. They leave the building they were hiding in and start making their way to the State House building where they are going to meet up with the Fireflies. They walk by a giant crater, and Ellie asks if this is from the bombings. Remember from the first scene of the episode, that's what the PhD scientist lady said to do. So it seems the US went with that plan. Tess said they bombed most of the big cities to slow the virus down. It did work in Boston, which is where they are at, but it did not work in most places, which means a lot of people died for nothing. The group decides whether to take the short or long way to the State House. They're going to check the area from the hotel first, which overlooks the long way, giving them an idea if they can take the route or not. We get our first draft of the series. It pops up a lot in the games, like a lot. As the three are walking towards the hotel, Tess asks how Ellie got bit. She tells Tess that she was in the mall at the QZ, which is off limits. You are not supposed to go in there. Ellie says she just wanted to know what it was like, and then she got bit. You have to remember, Ellie was born post-outbreak. She has no idea about the luxuries people had back then and wanted to experience it. Ellie also says she was alone when she snuck into the mall. Something to remember. When we get to the hotel, Ellie is quite impressed with the size of it and the luxury. Remember, she's never really been out of the QZ. She's seeing this from a fresh perspective. The lobby is flooded. This is also where we find out that Ellie can't swim, which came up a lot in the games. I don't know how often it will be a problem in the show though. A pathway is blocked and Tess has to open the doorway from the other side. So Joel and Ellie get some time alone. They basically play 20 questions. We find out that some of the infected can die within a month after getting the virus, but others can last for a long time. There are still some that are alive from the initial outbreak. Ellie asks Joel if it's hard killing infected, knowing they were people once. Joel says sometimes. Ellie knows that she will have to kill on this journey ahead of her and kinda wants confirmation that it is okay to kill these infected. Tess opens the doorway and they head to the balcony. They see a boatload of infected just chilling on the ground. Tess explains that the last time they were here, the infected were hiding in the buildings. But people who were looking for a safe place, like the QZ, could have gone through this area, went into the buildings at night thinking they were safe, and then got attacked. That's why there are more infected every year. They slowly take over. We see that when the sun hits them, they all start flipping out. We find out that the infected are connected in some way, that the fungus also grows underground. And let's say someone steps on a patch of cordyceps. That can alert a group of infected from somewhere else. And now they are coming to the spot you stepped on. So the fungus communicates with itself. It can send messages from great distances away. So you gotta be careful and deliberate with each step. So they are not going the long way. They will be forced to go the short way, which is through a museum. Right before they enter, Joel breaks a cordyceps root and notes that it is bone dry, which could mean they are all dead in the building. The group pulls out their flashlights and guns and heads in. They see a few infected on the ground and Joel says they are cooked. He said something similar in the last episode. So an infected seems to just kind of blow up after a while from the cordyceps, and they just become a big fungal patch. Now that does not happen to every single one of them, just some of them. Joel and Tess are a bit relieved, thinking they finally got some luck. But Ellie stumbles upon a body, one that has been attacked recently. Ellie is confused, the body is in bad shape. The infected that attacked her didn't go that hard. Joel and Tess are very worried. They also start whispering and tell Ellie to do the same. Tess is hoping that the man was attacked outside, that this infected isn't in the building with them. Her reasoning is they don't hear it yet. Joel tells the group that from this point forward, they are silent, to make no noise, no whispering, no nothing. The three head upstairs. As they get to the next floor, the staircase decides to collapse, making a lot of noise, also only leaving the group one way out. We then hear the clicking noise and screeches, and a clicker enters the room. A clicker is the third stage of infection. It takes about a year with the cordyceps virus to reach this stage. By this time, the fungus has taken over most of their body, covering almost all of it, but most notably the head, which actually blinds them. That's why the group still has their flashlights out. The clickers can't see them. So the way they find their prey is through echolocation, which is why they're making the clicking noise, hence the name clickers. It is also the reason why they stopped talking when they went further into the building. The fungus has also given them enhanced strength, making them quite the formidable foe up close. And if you make noise, they will sprint at you. The three back up slowly and another clicker appears. Ellie is clearly terrified. She has never seen anything like this, so it's understandable. Joel and Tess are scared as well because they know what these things are capable of. The three hide behind a cabinet and Ellie is breathing so loud out of her mouth. Like, oh my god, close your mouth. It annoyed me so much watching this. Ellie closes her eyes, the clicker moves right in front of them. Ellie makes a loud breathing noise like, oh, what the hell is that? And the clicker turns to go at the group. Joel starts firing and tries to fight the clicker off as Tess and Ellie run. The other clicker chases those two and somehow Tess and Ellie mess up run right into a mannequin, causing them to fall. Joel is able to get away from the clicker he was fighting. He broke some glass to distract it, giving him some time to reload his gun. Joel links back with Ellie and the two start crouch walking out of there. But Joel accidentally steps on the glass he broke, which makes a slight noise. The clicker comes leaping at the two. Joel puts 2 shots into the stomach of the clicker when it's on top of them. He then shoots it in the neck to slow it down, and then he finishes it off with a few headshots. The problem with clickers is that their heads are fortified by the fungus, so headshots will not always kill a clicker. It will just break some of the fungi off. so you have to weaken it first, but from the back of the head, you should be able to one-shot it since the fungi is not as apparent. Now, if you have a high caliber bullet, like what is used in an assault rifle, you should be able to one-shot it, which we see Joel do when the other one shows up with Tess. The three start talking again to see if everyone is alright. We find out that Ellie got bit again. The three head onto the roof. Ellie goes to the other building while Joel tapes Tess's ankle, which she twisted. Joel wants to talk to Tess about Ellie getting bit again, saying, hey, maybe the first bite didn't take, but this could. Tess kind of snaps at him for being such a pessimist. Just take the good news. They made it out alive. Have some hope. Joel and Ellie stand together looking at the view, and then the three head toward the state house. Right before Joel goes down the ladder, he looks at his watch. This is the watch that his daughter had fixed for him for his birthday. Being around Ellie, he is starting to have memories and associations between her and his daughter, which is something Joel probably never thought possible. He wants to bury that part of his past. He doesn't want to have to deal with that trauma. The three get outside of the state house and see no one. Joel goes in for a closer look. It seems someone was attacked. There is a lot of blood. They go inside and all the fireflies are dead. One of them got bit, then the healthy ones fought off the sick ones, and they all ended up dead. Tess is going crazy looking for any sign of how they can contact them, maybe a radio. Remember, without the fireflies, they don't get their battery. Joel wants to go back to the QZ, but Tess does not want to. She says she is staying. We then find out she was bitten. She shows the bite mark and it has progressed a lot. Tess then makes Ellie show her bite mark and it looks fine, like a normal cut. Tess then tells Joel that this is real and Ellie is immune. Tess tells Joel to take Ellie to Bill and Frank's and they will get her to the Fireflies. Bill and Frank smuggle goods with Joel and Tess. We heard their names last episode. Tess continues and says, "You get Ellie there and you could set everything right. All the bad things we did." So Tess knows this is the end for her, and she's starting to have regrets about all the bad stuff they did. And she believes that this, taking Ellie to the Fireflies to get a vaccine that can save millions, could be their atonement to set things right. One of the bodies starts moving, Joel shoots it, but the cordyceps on the ground was touched by the infected, communicating with the huge horde we saw earlier in the episode, which start heading their way. Tess is going to hold them off. She starts spilling gas and throwing grenades on the ground. Ellie and Joel head out the back. The infected head into the building. Tess can't get her lighter to start right away, but the infected just kind of ignore Tess. Finally, a stalker stares at her. He doesn't attack her though. He senses that she is already infected. A stalker is the second stage of infection. People have been infected for about 2 weeks to a year. They look a lot less human at this stage. They have fungal growth around their eyes and sometimes the fungus breaks through their skull, which we see here. The stalker starts making out with Tess. Basically, the stalker is just speeding up the turning process here. Tess finally gets the lighter off and blows up the infected, saving Joel and Ellie from being followed. Joel and Ellie start making their way towards Frank and Bill's. And that is the end of the episode. So what did you think of it? Leave it down in the comments below. And if you want more Last of Us content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below. And as always, have an awesome day.